Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Annie and I work for Cyber Seniors. We are a organization that help older adults with the use of technology. Today, through the Department for the Aging of New York City, we are bringing to you taking, editing, and managing photos and videos on your mobile devices. Mobile devices such as your smartphone and tablet are probably one of the most convenient cameras you can access. And the table of content that we are going to review today are as follows: how to take pictures and videos on phones and tablets, how to edit them, how to transfer and share them with others. Taking photos is pretty much a nice thing to do and very entertaining. Each mobile device, however, has different features and may put common elements in different places. We are going to move to a live demonstration, and for that we are going to be using a smartphone, Samsung, and also an iPad tablet. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to open my camera, and my camera is here in front of me in my home screen, and I would just tap over that option. And when I open my camera, of course, it's gonna allow me to take a picture. And this can go in different ways based on what you want to do. Notice how you have different options at the top of your screen, but also at the bottom of your screen, you will find different settings that can be changed when you are in this menu. Depending of the exact device that you use, these options could change. But for instance, if you see this gear icon at the top of your screen or anywhere in the screen, you can tap there and it will take you to certain camera settings that you can set up within that device. So it will be anything from features that can optimize your shots or the quality of pictures, and you just have to go through these settings in order to know what works best. Some of these settings are set up by default based on the device manufacturer configurations, and it's up to you. If you already know a little bit more about how to change some settings, you can come here and you will be able to modify different things, not only for photos but also for your videos. So this is the camera settings. I'm going to tap back in that button at the top left, and also a commonality of your options when you are using a mobile device to take photos is the flash. So the flash icon is right here, is the second option, is at the top of my screen, and this allow you to light up your photos. So you also have a timer. The timer will allow you to set up a particular time in which the photo can be taken, meaning you won't take the photo right away. You will set a time in which the photo will be taken. If you press over your flash, it will indicate whether the flash is off or on. Notice how it has a strike through it. When I press once again, right, it will show me different options for my flash. So the one with the A, it will be the flash is auto, meaning in the moment that the device consider the flash should be used, it will use it accordingly. If you press one more time, you will find the third option in this case is when the flash is actually on at that very moment. That is a little bit about the flash. Now you have here the temporizer, and if you press in there, the timer will show up. You have 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Notice how it goes really quick out of my menu, and I just have to be faster in the sense that I can decide when to set up that. So say that I use the timer and I'm gonna set it up for 5 seconds. I set it up for 5 seconds and now I will take my photo and it will do a countdown in order for me to be ready to take that photo, and there it is. After that setup time, it will show the preview of the photo usually at the bottom left of my screen in the case of my device. But oftentimes after you take a photo, you will notice how a preview of the photo is usually close by the shooting button. Now, if I continue with my options, I have other settings that I can change prior taking the actual photo, and this one will show me the radio. I can take that photo and I can change it for different stages, 3, right? And it would change the space taken in the photo as I move towards the options. I have another option right here and it's called motion photo. And you can decide whether you want that off or on just by tapping over the option. And you have this option right here at the top right corner. So whenever you need to select in something or choose an option, you just have to tap over that circle. This is particularly relevant if you are taking a selfie, I believe. And notice how at the top, when I'm in this particular menu, it will say face, also my filters, right? Filters that I can use to match the color of a scene. So for instance, if I use this one right here, and after I tap in next at the bottom, it will match the color of this scene in my actual picture. I hope that you can see that. You can see how when I'm navigating through my options, I have a back option of button, and in my case it's at the bottom of my screen, and I can go back to where I was before, but also I can use the back button to navigate through the menus as well. Either or, you can get here by pressing your back button or using the back word if that is displayed on your screen. And the last option I went in the top was this one right here. But also at the bottom, I have other things in regarding the quality or enhancing that I can do for this photo. I can decide if I can amplify my shot or make it further. If your camera is not steady, it will seem a little bit blurry, so just for me, you need to make sure that your camera is steady, and when it is steady, you then can actually see how the photo is much clearer. At the bottom, I also have single take, and if you press over that, it will allow you to take a photo within certain amount of time. In this case, it's showing 10 seconds. And when I do that, I press my button at the bottom, which is my shooting button, and it will capture different shots at once when I do that. Just by pressing in this button, I'm probably moving my camera to different points, so it captures different scenes in a single take. I also have photo, and photo is has we been using it for that particular shooting of an object or anything that you want to take a picture of. You have also video mode. And the video mode, when you are in here, notice how the shooting button at the bottom changes. Now it has a red button, which is the recording button. And when you hit in that option, it will start recording in the form of a video. And it will show the time at the top of your screen And notice also that here you have the flash option showing up. And if you want to enhance your lighting and turn on the flash, this is the option you can use. It's a matter of just tapping over that and it will enable or disable your flash. Again, at the bottom, I also have the option focusing and making the picture go much further into the scene. And I can also move my device to a horizontal mode, in which case we'll record that particular object much better if I need. So if you go back to vertical, right, notice how the different in scenes will be displayed for you. If you want to stop recording, you can use that circular button with the square now inside and it will stop the video. Now, as it did with the photo, when you take one video as well, you have the preview of the video right at the bottom. This probably will change from device to device, but you most likely will have a preview at the bottom of your screen in some devices after you take a photo. Also, notice how here I have another option that is the arrows going in a circle mode. And if you tap over that option, it would allow you to switch from your back camera to your front camera. And now here you can either take the video of your front view, but also if you are interested in taking selfies, you can go to photos and it will show that option for you. Now, if I want to take a photo and I want to enhance my photo, I can refer to the top of my screen, pressing that little magical stick that is right there, and I will be able to see working this skin enhancement in my camera. So I can move from one to other just by tapping in these circles, and it will make a change in my photo. Some things will be kind of unnoticeable, but I hope that you gather the point. So let's go at the top where the filters are. And again, if you want to match the color of a scene, you can apply it to your current picture so it looks in the lighting and way that reference has. So let's use this one that is black and white. And when I select, notice how it's highlighted in that square. I will tap over. And now the colors of my image will match the color of the scene I picked, right? You can go back by tapping at the bottom left and use your back button once more to return. Say that you want to use filters. In this particular case, it won't match the scene color. It will change the lighting and coloring of your picture. So say that I use these squares at the bottom. I'll tap in cream, deep, forest, classic, cozy, memory, and notice how I select in options, my image keep changing. Breeze. All right, say that I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna press my shooting button at the bottom of my screen. Notice how it gives me a time, a countdown before it takes that photo. and after it will show that preview right there, right? Remember, you have some things enabled. You have the flash at the top and also the timer activate. If you think the flash is not necessary in this particular case, you can tap in there and deactivate it by going to the option with the strike through. Okay, same with the timer. If you don't need the timer, you can go to that chronometer and select the word off. And that's it. All right, so that is taking a photo, a front facing photo, but you can also take a photo with your back camera as we start with at the beginning. And for that, I'm going to press in this option at the bottom, and I will be back into the back camera of my device. If you are taking a photo of a paper, you should lift up your device and try to focus that photo in the best of your abilities. I'm using my phone in a horizontal position right now. I will shoot by tapping in that button at the bottom middle point, and I will take the photo of my image right there, right? Timer is still going on and I don't want the timer, so remember to turn it off if you don't need it. All right, that is a brief round up of taking pictures and videos with your smartphone. I'm using an Android device so that you are aware of. What follows next is you being able to share that photo, or perhaps you want to place that photo in your drive or cloud as opposed to have it stored in your device memory. As I've been mentioning, when you take a photo, at the bottom of the screen you have a preview, and that is how you can go to the actual gallery to review your photos. This is something else you can keep in mind. When you take a photo, there is another application that is usually a gallery application that allow you to not only share that photo but modify the picture if you ever want to do that. I open the preview of my photo and I'm going back with my back button to see the actual gallery of the pictures and videos I just took. But I'm gonna press in my home button and I'm going back to my camera. And remember, when you take a picture but also a video, you can have the preview of either or by going to that option beside the shooting button. Sometimes the shape, instead of being a circle, will be square, but mainly is a small shoot of how that picture or video look like after you take the image or record the video. So if I go to my circle on the left at the bottom, pressing there, it will show me the last picture I took with my device. Notice that immediately after I came here, I have a pen option, and that is the option I can use to edit any image that I take with my device. One of the common things that you can do when you take a picture with your device is cut it or crop it. And how did you do that? Notice how my picture has these angles or square with different points that allow me to use my finger to drag the square to a particular part I want until the photo or image I want is exactly what I need. So in this case, I was able to remove whatever was surrounding that photo and concentrate in the photo itself. When you want to save your changes, you can tap in Save, and now it will show the last modification that you did with that photo. If I go once more to the Edit button, now I have much more things at the bottom of my screen, including different filters that I can use to make it look different. I have the original one, which is the coloring and aspect that I initially took the photo, and I have auto. Notice how the changes in the coloring is display, cream, deep, forest, and as you scroll or swipe from right to left, the image would change based on that filter you pick. You also have within this menu My Filters, and this is similar to what we used when we were taking the actual photo. It will replicate the scene coloring to the photo you are taking, and in this case, editing. I will tap at the top left, and I will be taken back to where I was. The actual option that it worked best for me in this editing option is auto. So I will select auto, and if you don't want to keep saving your changes one by one, you can do multiple changes, and when you finish, you will save up. Following the second option, I have this, and again, this is a matter of adjusting the brightness of the picture or image I have in front of me. Notice how you have this bar that you can move either to the left and it will make things go a little bit darker. And if you move to the right side, it will go much clearer in the scene of that picture or image. You also have the circles right here, and it works very similar to the filters. For you to select one, just tap over and see if you notice any difference. Sometimes these changes will be a bit imperceptible and you won't be able to notice them. You just have to keep trying and see what works best. Also, following with my options at the bottom, I have this other option that is stickers, and also the use of emojis. They use these to add nice touches to your image. And notice how at the bottom, based on that sticker selection I just did, it will display different things that I can use to add to my photo. So say that I add this sticker, and I can play with it a little bit, and notice how now I have that sticker right there. Usually, much like it happened with the crop option, you have corners or point corners that you can use to make something small or bigger. And what I'm doing is just holding my finger in this particular circle at the bottom of the square on the right side. And also I can drag by moving and holding my finger on the screen, and I can place it in a different place on this image. If I want to make it disappear, I can just press in the minus and that sticker is gone. Also, you have here this other option that allow you to write down in the photo. So for instance, if I use this pen, I can choose what kind of pen I will be doodling with, and I can select the one of my preference. And after I will select the color, and I will just start doodling in my image. And since this is a touch screen, I'm pretty much using my finger to do that. If you decide that you don't want that doodling, you have this arrow within this menu that allow you to remove that doodling. But it's a nice thing if you ever want to do something artistic with your images using whether it's a pen or even your fingers. You also have text, and the text can be anything that you want to add to this picture. So I can say this place looks awesome. All right. And what I do now, I can decide the orientation of the text, the letter type, right? And notice how whenever I tap in this option in the middle point, my letter will also change. So let's look at this typewriter one, and that's it. So I will just tap outside, and now I can type it anywhere I want. So notice how the letter now that has been typed was accommodated to the bottom, right? You can go back, and I'm gonna make it more clear, and I will just accommodate much like it did with the sticker. You can make it look big, move in different directions, or simply leave like that. And I will hit my save button, and that is how you can edit the photo. Now, if you go instead to the share option, when you select the share button, it will show a variety of things that you can use to share your photo. It can be a social platform such as WhatsApp. It can be through your email such as Outlook. And also, if you want to upload this photo into your drive, notice here how these options are being displayed for me, and I can use drive. And when I do that, it's going to ask me the location I want to save this picture to. And I will have the name, the exact location is going to, and the drive account I will be associating this image to. I will hit save. And at the top left corner of my screen, I will see that option of drive showing up, meaning that photo is being uploaded. And it will give me this notification, uploaded one file. And I can go now there, and I can tap in clear to clear my options. And now I can go to my drive. Now that I am in my drive, so the location, if you remember, was my drive. And here is my photo. That is a way you can have it saved in the cloud as opposed to have it stored in your device storage. Right, I'm gonna press my home button, and I'm going to press in my open applications button, which is the one here. For you, it might look like square, and I'm going to see the applications I've been navigating, and I'm going back to my camera. All right, and that has been how to take photos and videos from your device. Now I will move to the iPad. So here is my iPad tablet, and like we did with the smartphone, we are going to use the camera icon. It's very similar across devices, and I will just tap over that, and it will lead me straight to the actual camera. So we went over different options that you can use to set up prior taking the actual picture. And here in the iPad on the left side, you will have this adjustment option that looks like a circle, and you can move this from the bottom to the top to zoom the image. Notice how it keeps going bigger and bigger as I move that circle to the top, or move it to the bottom, which is towards the minus sign, to retrieve that focusing from the image. That is on my left side. on my right side, I have again the timer. Remember, in the Android device, when we press the timer, we will allow to set up a particular time in which after you shoot the photo, the device will give you a setup time enough to accommodate things. So for instance, if I go to 3 seconds and select that and I hit my shooting button, it will give me 3 seconds to get things steady, and after it will take the photo. Much like it happened with the Android, below my shooting button, I have the preview of that picture I just took in the form of a square. And please notice also that I'm holding my iPad tablet in a horizontal position. Now, if I want to take a video as opposed to a photo, notice how I have that mode right here and it says video. And in video also, such as it happened with the Android, that shooting button will change. Now it's red. And soon as I hit that button, it will show the time in which that video is being taken and say that I want to give that video some move, right? Just for the sake of practicing, you can just move across and take different things in that video. So I'm moving across my frame. When you hit the shooting button and it's recording, no longer will be a circle. Now it will have a square and you can press that square to stop the recording. And much like it did with the picture, it will also show the preview of that video. Notice how I can move within my options just by swiping on my right side, so I can decide what kind of mode I want to be. So you have a square, panoramic, which allow you to move your iPad continuously when you are taking a photo, and you just have to move your iPad in order for that panoramic shoot to take place. And that's it. If you go to that photo, it will look enlarged. So I'm going back, and that is panel, but you also can go to square. It will show up this square on the screen, kind of concentrating in a particular point of your image, right? And here is taking again, and there you are. It's focusing in a particular point of that frame. And that is a simplified way to take pictures in your iPad. It's much simpler than the smartphone. Now I'm gonna press my home button and I will go to an application that is called Photos. So as I mentioned when I was doing the demonstration for the smartphone, the photos and video functionality usually work alongside another application called Gallery, or Photos in the case of iOS devices. So in Photos, you have the gallery of all images you have taken until this point. And in here, you have the preview of your images. It can be by years, it can be by month, it can be by day. Right, the difference between a picture and a video is that when you take a video, it will show the time that that video was recorded for. And in the picture, it simply will show the picture for you. If you ever want to do anything with a picture or a video, you can tap and hold over that, and it will allow you to do things such as sharing this. It will give me different options that I can use to share this. You can copy your photo, you can add it to an album, you can use it as wallpaper, You can copy iCloud link and you can also save it to your files. So you can do any of these. It will depend on you. It will show me multiple applications that I can use to send this photo. So if I go to my messages, for example, I will be able to send this to a contact in my contact list. It will lead me to select a contact to send that photo to. Once the contact is selected, you will notice how this arrow that before was in a grayish looking color is bluish, and you just tap in there and it will show that photo to that person. Once you have sent a photo through this application, it will take you back to your gallery. But if you want to see how the other person will look at that photo, you can then go to your message application, tap in there, and here it will display the preview of how that image or video was sent to this person. And in this case, it displayed the play button within the actual frame, so the person know that there is a video as opposed to a picture. So that is how you share through the gallery or photos application. I would go back to my photos. I will see all my images once again, and I can just select another one. Remember, you can tap and hold over that option. Select share, and now you will go back to see the meanings you can use to share this video or picture. If you want to use the cloud system, such as you did for the Android, you can find the Drive application. In this case, here it is, and it will walk you through the steps on the screen, much like it did with the Android. It will show the preview of that image, the account the photo is going, where that is going to be saved, and whether I want to share with other people or not. If you ever want to share a photo when you upload it in the Drive, you can select in that option that says add people and groups, and it would allow you to type the name of the person you are sharing the photo with. I'm gonna use Macaulay as a reference, and you can also decide how you want that person to manage that photo. You can decide if you want them to be an editor, if you want them to be a commenter, if you want them to be a viewer. All right. So that is an option you can use to share your photos within the cloud system. So I'm going to use myself to share this photo, and you can add a nice message. And once you do that, then you can hit the send button on the right side. And when you did that sharing at the bottom of your screen, you will go to upload, and notice how it shows the progress. And officially now, the photo has been shared. If you want to see the picture or video you just upload to the cloud, you can go to Drive, which is the actual one I use. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening. That brings us to the end. I hope that you find new tips and can put into practice whatever we learned today. If you have more questions about this topic, you can call Cyber Seniors toll-free number at 844-217-3057, but also you can visit us online at www.cyberseniors.org. See you next time.